Hey YouTube, today I am going to be using those egg cartons to do a gardening hack. And these cartons are easily found at the grocery store when you buy eggs in packs of 30. So what I've done with them is I've punctured a little X inside of each of them with scissors. I just press down on all four corners because it ends up being like four corners now. And then once I press down on all four corners, it becomes like an opening. And this is the perfect size for more than just carrots, but I'll be doing carrots today, which will give me not only straight and evenly spaced carrots, but will also give me carrots that are growing in a weed-free environment because the cardboard set down will push out weeds from growing all around them. I'm going to go ahead and set these out on the row I've got prepared for it, and I'll show you what that looks like. So here's the garden, about 1,200 square feet, and I'm hoping that year 2 is going to be a lot easier. I'm pretty sure it's going to be. I'm sure there will still be rocks, but the first year is always the toughest, especially with rocky soil. And the race is on. As it is right now, you can see there's much more soil bed than weeds. So the race is on to fill these holes with either something that's growing or with mulch so that the weeds don't get ahead of me. So hopefully I can do that. But back to these carrots that I'm going to be planting today. I've got all of my cartons laid out. And by the way, you could do this with regular cartons. You'll just need more of them. So my goal here is to have some intensive gardening going on this year where all this space is going to be put to better use so that I can have more fruits and vegetables, mostly vegetables, growing in this space. So to make the most out of my space, I want to have my, like in past years, I've usually just broadcast the seeds where I'm just throwing the seeds loosely and generously over the area that I wanted my carrots to grow. They're very, very small seeds, so sometimes it's easier to do that. But I have noticed, just as with everything else, prices have gone up like crazy. And I've noticed that the carrot seeds are no different. The carrot seeds that I used to buy in huge amounts are now, they're not even an option with the supplier that I usually buy from. That's Rainbow Seeds in New Brunswick. I was actually buying from them even when I lived in Ontario. Most of the time their seeds are very good quality, and they were very liberal with the amount of seeds that they gave because they were the ones harvesting their seeds on their farm and then packaging and selling it across Canada. But recently I've noticed that it's not the case. This method is going to be much more effective in using less seeds because I'm just going to go ahead and pop probably about 2 seeds into every slot. And I've got here about 510 slots. My goal is to have 500 carrots grow in this small space. And if I could do that, I would be very happy. And as time goes on, because carrots are the type of thing that I'm getting an early start with, I can go ahead and continue planting on, growing in succession so that these ones will be ready sooner than the next ones will be. And I can just have a steady flow of carrots throughout the summer and enough for the fall to store. So last year, I don't have any video of what happened, but I had grown a good amount, about this length with the broadcasting method, all the way up to that cold frame there. And I had left them for late fall and thought to myself, I'll just harvest all of them and keep them in the winter, store them in the house for the winter. And it was a really, really cold day. I came out to harvest them and found that the deer had literally pulled them all out. I had a few little bits still stuck in the ground, but they had done a number on them. They pulled them out. And I guess that's what just happens because I didn't have fencing, and I'm hoping to have fencing this year all the way around so that it's secure from the deer. When I found out later on, the same thing happened with our neighbors. They basically, it was like they were stashing the supply of people's food in their gardens until the very last minute when they had nothing left and everything was dying on the ground in the late fall. And that's when they came and they struck everybody's gardens that were accessible. So this year, Hopefully the fence will be up, and I'll be definitely harvesting the carrots along the way so that if I do end up losing some because of deer, I will be okay with that if I at least get to eat some of them. So the next step here is to fill these holes with soil and then make sure that every single carton is soaked well all the way through, because this is going to break down over time. You want to make sure that the soil is going to be nice and damp. So making sure these cartons are soaked all the way is really important. So I'm going to go ahead and throw soil on every slot, and then I will come back after I've watered it. So I'm just putting some peat moss here that was sitting out here from last year into these slots. And I'm going to try to hurry up and fill these up. So there it is. I have yet to add the water from the hose, but I'm going to go ahead and water it now, and then add the seeds, and then top it up with a light dusting of soil. So I ended up using Nantis corylus. They're a type of, I think they are an heirloom carrot, but they are non-GMO here. And the carrot seeds, just for scale, for anybody who hasn't seen them in a while, they're super tiny. So I want them to be able to come up through the soil without any problem. So I went with the potting soil here, but I won't be doing that for all of my seeds that I directly sow into the garden this year. So I'm just going to water it, and that is it. Normally I'd use about 3 packs of those seeds. This year I didn't even use the whole pack. So I really saved on seeds by doing this method. So we'll see how well it works. I have, like I said, I have about 500, a little over 500 cells that I put seeds into. And I tried to go with about 2 seeds per hole, but it was really hard because they're so small. Some of them ended up with 3, and some of them ended up with 4. A few ended up with 5. But at minimum I put 2 per cell. The space between each cell from center to center is about 2 inches. So this method will work with carrots, but it will also work with peas, spinach, radishes, lettuce, and arugula, if anybody's familiar with that and likes to grow it. So hopefully they come up. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you posted. That's it for now. Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section. I appreciate your watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. God bless you. Bye for now.